Pokemon X and Y upcoming Pokemon games for the 3DS later this year will have a new region called Kalos and some new Pokemon that you can actually ride. But before we get to this video, let's get to the question of the day. Alright, so stay tuned to the end of this video to find out the answer to the question of the day. Alright, so the new X and Y Pokemon games will have a brand new region called Kalos. Kalos. Oh man, these names, I don't know where they come up with it, but they sound almost like an ancient Greek kind of thing, you know. I mean, it's like they had Johto, they had Kanto, they just sound really weird. So I don't know where they come up with it, but Nintendo also announced that the capital of Kalos will be Lumiose City, which has a massive tower that kind of looks like the Eiffel Tower from Paris. Actually, it's supposed to be France-like, the actual Kalos region. Oh, I'm taking a look at a screenshot or a character, and it's a female blonde girl. She's got a little hat, and she's riding what looks to be a four-legged hoof Pokemon with massive antlers, like a ram-like horns on the thing. Yeah, it looks really strange. Oh my, and she's actually riding it in the actual town, so it looks like instead of just riding the bike in all the games, you know how you just put on the bike, then you can actually ride the actual Pokemon. And we should have had this from the fucking beginning. We should have had this at least since like Generation 2, if not Generation 3. Because I'm getting sick and tired of not having Pokemon on screen. You know, when you play the fucking games, when you're exploring the worlds and stuff like that. Even with the later games like Black, you know, they don't have... You can't really ride Pokemon except for when you transform into it. Like when you're surfing, it shows the Pokemon when you surf, okay. When you fly, it shows the, you know, flashes the flying Pokemon, whatever the flying Pokemon is, briefly for, you know, it's not even a Pokemon, it's just like a generic, like, silhouette of what could be a Pokemon, like a shape of a flying Pokemon or a, you know, a water Pokemon, that kind of thing. And the only time I've ever seen, like, a Pokemon actually follow you around was in Yellow, where Pikachu followed you around like a fucking, you know, like a retard or something, you know what I mean? Like, he's just, like, trailing you like a hound dog. I don't know. X and Y will also be split across the Kalos region's 3 unique areas, and the game will include more than 640 Pokemon encountered across the previous games in the series. Really? 640? Holy shit, man. Has anybody ever actually captured all of it? You know, gotta catch them all, collect them all. Has anybody actually got all of them? All 640, 650, however the fuck there is, 700, I don't care. There's so many. And they're all cross-generational. It's all some bullshit gimmick where you gotta trade it from this generation to the other one, and then you gotta get it from that to... And then it's like this, you gotta have all the systems, you gotta have all the fucking games, all the copies of it. You know, even if it's the same, you gotta have Black and White and Black and White 2, and it's like red and blue and green and purple and fucking shit stain and booger green and fucking all that. I mean, God. Nintendo also unveiled 4 Pokemon new in X and Y. The life-leeching electric Pokemon Helioptile, the swift-flying Fletchling, Pancham, who can lower the defense of an enemy Pokemon and then switch out for another, and Gogoat, a rideable Pokemon who can be used as a mount in the game for the first time in the series. That's the one with the antlers. The ram-like horns. The Gogoat, that's the one in the picture. Helioptile looks... it looks like a starter Pokemon. Or not a starter, but it could be a starter. It looks like a fucking lizard dinosaur thing with droopy ears, like a dog. Pancham looks like a panda, basically. And Fletchling is a bird. I don't know. You know, these Pokemon designs, they get very interchangeable as the years go by. They're very similar as the previous ones. Not a lot of originality. Like, you'll have a bird Pokemon, again, a bug Pokemon that looks like a previous book, you know, like butterflies and, you know, worms and fucking insects. they all kind of look the same. You know, there's always some hoof Pokemon. You know, there's a lot of birds, winged creatures. There's a lot of fucking water Pokemon like fish. And they never seem to branch out and make something like completely different. They always seem to, you know, they always have versions of older Pokemon that they just kind of rip off just to, you know, I don't even know why they do it. Like, for nostalgia? Because they're unoriginal, they're not very creative anymore? Like, they have shitty-ass Pokemon in the new ones. They have some cool ones, don't get me wrong. Like, they'll have a few cool designs, but a lot of them, too, are very unoriginal, but X and Y, I guess we'll just find out when it comes out. Alright, so this was the answer to the question of the day.